In this city, practically every inch of ground is stepped in history. Modern, clean streets give way to historic bridges and street performers trying their luck. Fancy food and the nightlife that many places can only dream of. But wait, what does Berlin actually has to offer? Berlin is 9 times larger than Paris, has more bridges than Venice, and has over 3,000 rivers and lakes. It is split in 12 districts, each one with its own character. Berlin-Mitte with its many sites, the alternative Friedrichshain, Kreuzberg famous for art and culture, and so on. One of the most significant area is Berlin-Mitte. Shopping streets and then hidden spots you wouldn't expect, such as this gallery in a country yard, where it immediately becomes clear just how creative this city is at its heart. Suddenly you're confronted with history. Old photos from the Second World War show the destruction of the church, the buildings and the square. It took 24 years later for the TV tower to be built, which is now considered one of Berlin's landmarks. This place fascinated me. On the one hand, so structured and shaped by the events of the time, and yet so playful with various attractions, diverse music, shopping and coffee shops. This fascinating feeling of getting goosebumps, only to be amazed all over again, will stay with me from here on. A few streets away is one of the most historical places in Berlin, the Brandenburger Gate. The Brandenburg Gate is decorated with the Quadriga, a sculpture representing the goddess of peace, Irene, riding her 4 horses carriage. In 1806, it was removed from the victorious Napoleon and taken to France. After the victory over Napoleon, it was brought back in a triumph in 1814 and transformed into the goddess of victory. This place also played a role in many military parades during the Second World War and lay within the death zone during the time of the war. That means it was unreachable from the east and the west Germany. That I think about, and I think about while it's in mouth, while if, one nose, no shirt, no blouse, just The Berlin Wall also leaves an impression on me and reminds me that Berlin wasn't always full of life as it is today.
This side is the east and this side is the west.
Thick, large metal bars serve as a reminder of the wall size, making me feel small when I stand next to it. I admit that only now I can understand better how tragic and difficult that time must have been. The feeling becomes almost overwhelming as we walk through the memorial of the murdered Jews in Europe.
The structure of this monumental has to show the disorientation and irritation while the Holocaust. So it's extra big.
I have no words to describe this moment, but it's a place everybody has to visit once. In another part of Berlin, the wall is artistically painted, and in my opinion, it once again shows how Berlin today connects historical facts with life in the city. People meet here, enjoy the sunshine, and breathe new life into a place that was once filled with suffering. Is that what makes Berlin so unique? We keep going exploring the city and found some calm streets, birds singing, families walking around, and everybody seems to be relaxed. Berlin seems not to be only a loud, historic, food place with many experiences to make. That surprised me again in a positive way. It's not just the cultural diversity and the feeling of consistently diving into new worlds within the same city. It's also the tranquility that you find in some streets, something I didn't expect. Sure, it's a place where a lot happens, where many events take place, and where you can really get everything you want to, every food you desire, which makes it even more understanding why so many people likes to be here. But it's more than that. After just a short time, we realized what it means to be in Berlin. Berlin is a cultural hotspot full of significant history and places that give you goosebumps when you get closer. Berlin isn't just a living example of different cultures and nationalities. It also seems to allow the freedom and openness for everybody in the city to find what they're looking for. Berlin is a place of freedom, of life, a place to explore, but for many, it's simply home.